It threw me back how quickly I turned from victim to bad guy, because all I was trying to do was defend myself, and if it wasn't for the USCCA, I probably would have been in prison.
I get a phone call. She had an incident. And I had to draw a gun, and I didn't know what to think. All I know is that, she was in trouble.
Yeah. I definitely feared for my life, because I've never seen such a rage in someone's eyes. He's blocking my only exit out. I can see, freedom right there, but I can't get to it. He's pushed me back, and as if this couch was the counter I caught myself on, he was blocking the doorway. I don't know what he's capable of next, and I feel like I'm trapped.
Well, we got the phone call. It was during Christmas, and I remember she was very scared because the police were at her where she was, and they were investigating her for a criminal offense, a felony in Florida. And she, understandably, very concerned and very fearful of going to jail or going to prison, not knowing what was going to happen to her.
Once I drew my firearm, he put his hands up and backed up, so I was able to get out. And when I went out, I called 911, and the Marine unit, they were closer, so they were first on the scene. But they asked me, where my firearm was, and I just kind of was I kind of went like this, twisted and put my hip up in the air, so they just took it off me. They told me I did everything right, and they saw how upset I was when they got there, because they were first on the scene. The sheriff had pulled up, later, and I was calmed down at that point, so acting normal, so she didn't seem to see me as the victim.
It came in initially, she was a victim of an assault. And after law enforcement arrived, and more law enforcement arrived, and multiple jurisdictions arrived, the scene changed. And for whatever reason, law enforcement started investigating her as the suspect and not as the victim anymore.
So I pulled out my wallet and grabbed the card for the USCCA, and I called the critical response team. And, right away, I was made to feel at ease. It just hit me like, well, what if I didn't have it? What would have happened? And that's when I realized, it's better to have it than not have it.
And I'm confident that having a lawyer with her on the phone that at the time it was happening, dealing with law enforcement on her behalf and intervening well before a grand jury or a prosecutor got involved in the case was instrumental in keeping her from being formally charged or going to prison.
You hear all these horror stories with car insurances and stuff where, you have a hard time getting coverage and stuff like that, and the USCCA was literally 2 questions, and bam, dropped $5,000 down on the attorney, and this attorney was just incredible. He, and just never made it to the DA's desk. Everyone, through the USCCA and the attorney just made me feel at ease and made me feel safe and made me feel like I'm gonna be okay.
Most criminal cases occur, the person's arrested, then they go out and seek an attorney that can help them get out of the trouble. With USCCA, you already have an attorney. You already have an attorney that's prepared and able to deal with a self-defense situation. And with Carrie Ann, not only does she have that relationship and was able to get an attorney literally while the police were still on the scene, but she didn't have to worry about the financial aspect of that. USCCA is wonderful in that you not only have an experienced attorney, but they pay for it. They cover all the expenses so that the member can just focus on getting out of trouble and avoiding any kind of prosecution.
Life is good now. We do things together. We go to the range, we train. We don't have to worry about anything.